1 in 7 American adults, or over 37 million people, are suffering from chronic kidney disease right now. These aren't just statistics. These are millions of our friends, family members, and loved ones whose lives have been devastated by kidney failure. Just a few years ago, 45-year-old Samantha was an active mother working as a teacher, but her declining kidney function due to uncontrolled diabetes slowly robbed her of her energy, her ability to work, and even simple joys like going for walks in the park. She now requires grueling dialysis sessions 3 times a week just to stay alive. Samantha's story is just one of the countless tragic consequences of compromised kidney health. Our kidneys are much more important than we think. They filter out toxic waste, regulate blood pressure, and keep our bodies in balance. But when they start failing, the effects can be catastrophic on every other organ system. And here's the really troubling part. You could be unknowingly damaging your kidneys every single day through the simple act of eating, because many foods we commonly consume directly attack and slowly destroy our kidney function over time. By the end of this video, I will tell you about the top 5 diet-related factors that put your kidneys at risk, and which you unknowingly consume as food, and you do not even know about it. And at the end, you will know about that one thing which could delay the progression of this dangerous disease for years. To truly understand what are the top 5 dietary factors that endanger your kidneys, we first need to grasp just how vital these organs are to our very existence. Think of your kidneys as the human body's mini water treatment plants. Every single day, they filter around 200 liters of blood to remove waste products and excess water. Without this immaculate filtration system, deadly toxins would quickly build up in our bodies. But kidneys do much more than just be nature's curators of cleanliness. They also produce hormones that regulate blood pressure, ensure strong bones by activating vitamin D, and facilitate production of red blood cells. Essentially, they are multitasking miracle workers. To illustrate their importance, let's use a simple analogy many of us can relate to. Your kidneys are like the municipal sewage workers of your body. If they fail to do their job of clearing out the waste, it doesn't take long for everything to back up and create a toxic, messy disaster affecting every part of the system. If it doesn't work properly, it can have many serious effects such as uncontrolled blood pressure that strains the heart, anemia that causes fatigue and dizziness, weakened bones that fracture easily, a buildup of fluid in the lungs and legs. The list goes on. In the most severe cases of kidney deterioration, complete organ failure requires individuals to be tethered to grueling dialysis machines several times a week, or face the arduous process of securing an organ transplant, just to remain alive, according to medical experts. But even milder cases of chronic kidney disease that go unaddressed drastically elevate risks. Studies published in the American Journal of Medicine found a 50% higher likelihood of heart attacks and strokes, in addition to a staggering 3 times greater risk of premature death compared to those with healthy kidney function. So with a clearer picture of how indispensable our kidneys really are, it becomes clear why protecting them should be a top priority for overall health and longevity. Let us find out which are the top dietary factors that are seriously damaging our kidneys, which we unknowingly consume in food and we are not even aware of it. When I first started researching this topic, I came across a rather surprising viewpoint. There are actually some people out there who believe that salt and sodium are not that big of a deal for our health. Their argument is that humans have been consuming salt for millennia without major issues. Sounds logical, right? Well, let me blow that idea out of the water. While it's true that our ancestors consumed salt, the quantities were nowhere close to what the average person takes in today. Just look at these mind-boggling numbers. As you can see, sodium intake has skyrocketed in modern times, far exceeding what our bodies were evolved to handle, and this overabundance is proving disastrous, especially for our kidneys. Numerous scientific studies have shown that excessive sodium can literally destroy and scar the intricate filtration system inside our kidneys over time. It's like forcefully pushing a pool's filtration plant to work at 10x its intended capacity. A complete system breakdown is inevitable. But kidney damage is just the start. Sodium overload also directly increases your risk of high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, and even stomach cancer, according to these findings. So where is all this excessive sodium coming from? Is it just adding salt to your home-cooked food? Absolutely not. The real culprits are all the processed, pre-packaged foods that have become a staple of the modern diet. Processed foods like frozen meals, bread, deli meats, snacks, sauces, etc. contain very high amounts of sodium. As you can see, many of these common items contain far more than the recommended 2,300 milligrams daily sodium limit in just one serving. But how can we reduce the excessive sodium? Which badly damages the kidneys? 1. Get into the habit of meticulously reading nutrition labels and avoid anything with more than 20% of your daily sodium intake per serving. 2. Switch to low-sodium alternatives for common items like broths, sauces, and canned foods. 3. Most importantly, cook more meals from scratch at home so you can control sodium content. Look, I get it. Cutting out salt altogether is extremely tough for most people's palates. But moderating your intake through these simple solutions can have an exponentially positive effect on protecting those hard-working kidneys of yours. Okay, now that we've discussed sodium, let's move on to another major but often overlooked dangerous dietary component for kidney health. Vince Turilli was a bodybuilder and protein fanatic who lost his life due to his excessive protein obsession. At his peak, he consumed over 500 grams of protein per day through meat, protein powder, and supplements, his constant quest to build muscle. What Vince didn't realize was that this excessive protein intake was completely destroying his kidneys. You see, while protein is certainly an essential nutrient, overconsumption represents a major risk factor for chronic kidney disease. When we ingest more protein than our bodies need, the kidneys have to work overtime to eliminate the excess nitrogen byproducts of protein metabolism. Over years and decades, this persistent overload causes immense strain. So, which are the excessive protein foods that can be included in our normal diet and silently taxing our kidneys? Many types of red meat, like beef, pork, etc., which can pack 25-30 grams of protein per serving. Protein powders and supplements that make it easy to bypass our body's protein limits. Cheese and other dairy products which are very protein dense. Certain grains like quinoa that are surprisingly high in protein. So how much protein is too much? Most healthy kidneys can handle around 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, which for a 150 pounds person comes out to just 55 grams per day. Anything significantly exceeding that represents kidney strain over the long term. The solution is not cutting out protein entirely, but being more mindful of portion sizes and overall intake. Here are 3 practical tips supported by research. 1. Limit protein intake to 0.8 g per kilogram of body weight and focus on leaner protein sources like eggs, fish, lentils. 2. Don't overcompensate by eating extra protein to build muscle. Stick to recommended intakes. 3. Stay hydrated, as increased water intake helps kidneys clear out protein byproducts. What if I told you that your favorite beverage could be silently sabotaging your kidney health with every sip? I'm talking about those enticing soft drinks that seem to beckon you from every street stall and supermarket aisle. Kyle Robertson was a 28-year-old software engineer living in Seattle. Like many in his generation, Kyle was hopelessly addicted to soda. He couldn't start his day without guzzling down an ice-cold Coke or Pepsi. Over time, his habit escalated to an alarming 5 cans of soda every single day. Little did Kyle realize, this sugary indulgence was systematically demolishing his kidneys from the inside out. By age 35, Kyle's kidneys had failed completely, forcing him onto arduous dialysis treatments just to stay alive. His soda addiction resulted in dialysis prison. You see, soft drinks represent a triple whammy against our kidney health through their infamous ingredients. Stick around, because over the next few minutes I'll expose the specific culprits that can turn your refreshing beverage into a kidney saboteur. First up, the obvious one, the excessive sugar content. A 12 ounces can of regular soda contains a whopping 39 grams of sugar, primarily in the form of high fructose corn syrup. This intense sugar hit triggers insulin resistance, metabolic strain, and inflammation, a toxic cocktail that overworks the kidneys. But don't breathe that sigh of relief just yet, diet soda drinkers. Those zero-calorie drinks are far from angelic for our kidneys. Their phosphoric acid content has been directly linked to an increased risk of kidney stones and potential kidney damage. And then there are chemical additives like artificial sweeteners. Although more research is still needed, some evidence suggests that these man-made mixtures may interfere with kidney function over time. Even seemingly healthy fruit juices pack a fructose punch that can overwhelm the kidney's filtering capacity when consumed in excess. So here are some practical and scientifically backed ways to keep you refreshed while protecting your kidney health. 1. Limit all sweetened beverage intake to under 12 ounces or 1 can glass per week at most. 2. Drink more unsweetened beverages like water and herbal tea. 3. Choose or infuse water with fruit slices for a naturally sweet kick. A major study found making these simple swaps reduces risk of kidney stone formation. So next time you reach for that enticing soft drink or juice, pause for a moment. Imagine a silent killer lurking in your very own kitchen, a substance that is so essential for life, yet becomes so deadly when it accumulates. This is the horrifying truth of phosphorus, a mineral that is wreaking havoc on the kidneys of unknowing people all over the world. A 2021 study found that more than 70% of the phosphorus in the American diet is now being used as preservatives and flavor enhancers. So how can you protect yourself from the dangerous effects of phosphorus, which invites diseases like kidney damage and chronic kidney disease? Before that, it is important to understand how phosphorus damages your kidneys. Phosphorus is essential for bone health and various bodily functions. But if your kidneys are damaged or diseased, the consequences can be worse. As this excess phosphorus accumulates in the body, it begins to overload the kidneys, causing them to work overtime to filter it out. And its consequences can be nothing less than disastrous. Kidney damage, chronic kidney disease, and even complete organ failure all have been linked to this silent phosphorus epidemic. But here's what's really worrying. The damage often goes undetected until it's too late. By the time you start experiencing obvious symptoms of kidney disease, the condition has already reached an advanced stage, making it very difficult to treat. And the real problem is that unlike sodium, which we deliberately add to foods, phosphorus is quietly entering our diets through processed foods and additives. Just one muffin packet can contain up to 50% of your daily phosphorus limit. Similarly, carbonated beverages like cola are loaded with phosphoric acid, which is used as an acidity regulator. Even seemingly healthy items like protein bars are rich in phosphate variants. So how can you protect your kidneys from this phosphorus attack? The first step is to become an expert label reader. Stay away from ingredients with the phos prefix, such as pyrophosphate or triphosphate. Cola drinks, processed meats, baked goods. These are some of the biggest sources loaded with excess phosphorus. Eat as many fresh, minimally processed foods as possible. When eating out, ask about phosphate additives in cooking. In the battle for kidney health, phosphorus is rapidly emerging as public enemy number one that demands our immediate attention before it is too late. So now you have known that sodium, protein, phosphorus, and cold beverages are dietary culprits severely damaging our kidneys. But there are some other lesser-known dietary offenders that over 90% of people are unaware of, and they are unknowingly consuming them daily without realizing it. One such stealth attacker is oxalate, a seemingly harmless compound found abundantly in plant-based foods like spinach, almonds, and beets. While oxalate itself is not bad, studies show that its excessive consumption can increase the risk of excruciatingly painful kidney stones by 40% or more. But oxalate is not the only hidden danger. Even artificial food colors, those vibrant dyes pervasive in processed foods, may be a covert agent compromising kidney function, according to FDA warnings about their potential toxicity. Finally, there is a sweet temptation, the fructose derived from added sugars in ultra-processed foods. This sugar can dangerously imperil your kidneys by disrupting crucial metabolic pathways. So how do we combat these insidious assailants? When it comes to oxalate, focusing on moderating portions of high oxalate foods and staying hydrated can help flush them out efficiently. For food colors, based on the FDA's warnings about potential toxicity, the advice is to read labels and avoid artificially colored products as much as possible. As for fructose, reducing intake of sweetened beverages, sweets, and hidden sugar sources can mitigate the risks of this fructose overload. While more research is still needed in these areas, being vigilant about these other potential culprits in our diets can complement the efforts to address the 4 major offenders we previously discussed. What if I told you that the humble, unassuming blueberry, a fruit found in gardens and supermarkets across America, could actually help tackle one of our biggest public health crises? Yes, this simple berry may hold the key to fighting kidney disease, an ailment affecting millions of Americans. Multiple studies have found that blueberries, rich in antioxidants, specifically anthocyanins, exert protective effects on the kidneys and may help slow disease progression. For instance, a 2019 study published in the journal Nutrients found that giving blueberry powder to rats with kidney disease helped reduce oxidative stress, inflammation, and fibrosis in their kidneys compared to the control group. Blueberries are widely lauded for their high antioxidant content and anti-inflammatory properties. But beyond just being a nutritious snack, emerging research suggests these tiny gems could play a major role in kidney health. As many of you know, kidney disease is a significant public health issue affecting millions in America and worldwide. It occurs when the kidneys become damaged and can't effectively filter waste and excess water from the blood. This can lead to numerous complications like high blood pressure, anemia, bone disease, and even complete kidney failure. A major driving force behind kidney disease is oxidative stress and chronic inflammation in the kidneys caused by factors like diabetes, high blood pressure, and toxic exposures over time. And this is where blueberries come into play with their unique antioxidant makeup. Supportive evidence. Another 2016 study in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that blueberry consumption improved kidney function biomarkers and lowered blood pressure in patients with metabolic syndrome, which increases the risk of kidney disease. Researchers believe blueberries' anti-inflammatory effects stem from their ability to block molecules that trigger inflammatory pathways, while their antioxidants help kidney cells combat oxidative damage from toxins and byproducts. Of course, more research is still needed, especially large-scale clinical trials, but the existing evidence is quite promising and provides a strong case for incorporating blueberries as part of an overall kidney protective dietary strategy. So the next time you're at the supermarket, be sure to pick blueberries and make them a part of your diet and lifestyle.